Hey everybody, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty, giving you my weekly comic book review. So sit back and enjoy. Alright everybody, for those of you that know the drill, I go over a bunch of comic books for the week that I chose to read. Now I didn't have time to read everything, so if I missed something you think I should have read, let me know in the comments below. Also, you may disagree with me on some of my choices. If that's the case, that's alright. Let me know below. Let's just try to keep it civil. My goal is to bring back the old schoolyard days, where we would be in discussing what hero could beat who or what comic book was good and not. And I come armed with my trusty notes, so you'll hear the paper rattle because I do it a little bit old school. I do my grading on a scale of 0 through 10, 7 being average as a 70%. So I'm using schoolyard grading. But that's not all. I also use the League of Comics Geeks to give you other people's views as well as a brief overview of the comic book as well. So let's jump right in. Hey friends, welcome back for another weekly comic book review. Now I will say I do plan on reading a couple more comic books yet this week, but I didn't have time to read them in time to get this review out, so I just thought I'd share the ones that I have read so far. The first one, sadly, yeah, you ready, is The Amazing Spider-Man 68-point Deaths. League of Comics Geeks had 134 ratings with a 2.8, mostly negative. And boy, yeah, I agree. I gave it a 6. Assistant, got him right off the bat. I'm struggling. Christos Gage wrote it, and Mark Buckingham was the artist. And boy, is this a turd. The 8 Deaths of Spider-Man continues. Now with Spider-Man dead, we have the X-Men here. Yeah. So here we go. Why do we need an extra issue? These point death issues. This story sucks already. Why couldn't they have just put it normal continuity? Are they trying to get it done and out the door because it sucks so bad? What's the deal? The Blight has the X-Men under control, but if you read Secret Wars in the 80s, well, you know Spider-Man didn't have any problem defeating the X-Men anyway, but why do I bother even saying it? Because the only Spider-Man you really get here is Spider-Man on the cover. There is no Spider-Man in this issue because remember last issue he died. Yep, so Juggernaut's the voice of reasoning in this issue too. This issue does have decent art and decent action though. But what this issue does not have is inequality. It's no Spider-Man and the story sucks. I mean, why did we need to point anything in this? This whole series blows. I don't know about you, but I think Spider-Man needs some major work here. The next one I read was Red Hulk #1 with a 3.9 rating out of 166 ratings, mostly positive, and I gave it a 7.8. Let's see if I can get things right this time without butchering my words. The writer is Benjamin Percy, the artist is Jeff Shaw, and well, the Red Hulk is back. We got more of the Red Hulk, Thunderbolt Ross. He's in a cell deep below the ground as a prisoner, and who's keeping him? Dr. Doom. Yeah, he's not alone though. And he's got this group together. He's going to make a think tank to try to get out. He's using the think tank that Dr. Doom's created. So yeah, we have Ross. He's captured by Doom, but he's not alone. There's Deathlock is in this, Machine Man and some others. Pretty cool. And they're going to try to break out. And it's cool because Doom's got him as his think tank, but they're using it group as a think tank to get out themselves. Pretty cool. I will say it's off to a decent start. Interesting story. I'm going to check out the next issue. It also has some cool variant covers as well, if you like those too. The next one I read was Black Canary, Best of Best #4 with a 3.5 average rating out of 92 ratings, which is mostly positive, which is surprising considering the writer is Tom King, not somebody I'm a fan of usually, artist Ryan Sook. I gave the book a 7.5. Yeah, we have Dinah Lance. The Black Canary finally starts fighting back and starting to take control of the fight after seeing Ted Grant get beat up pretty good there. The question I have once again, with these writers today, why does Tom King have to belittle other heroes to pump up the current hero? It's sloppy writing that continues to happen in these books. I'm sorry, but there's better jobs that you can do there. There is decent art inside, but there's nothing really special. It is a good fight though. But if you want some good art, there's some better alternate covers for this that you might be interested in. So really not terrible. I just wish they get past this trope of have to knock the good traditional heroes down a peg to bring up other ones. I mean, there shouldn't be no problem getting Black Canary pumped up. I mean, she's a good hero to begin with. You shouldn't have had to tear down, Ollie in order to make her look good. And speaking of Ollie, let's talk about Green Arrow issue 21. With a 4.2 rating with 159 ratings, which is very positive, and I gave the book a 7. The writer is Chris Condon, artist is Montos. Yep, we still have Star City in trouble. Yep, with the freshwater killer. Oliver Queen has even more questions now regarding the ecological disaster in Star City, which leads him deeper into his own history as the threat comes even closer to his home. It's got mediocre art, decent action, but it's a little bit slow starting in this issue. Probably could have been summarized in less pages, if you will. And, it's not bad. It's Green Arrow. I expect this kind of stuff with Green Arrow, and it fits, and I'm enjoying it, and I think you might as well. Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by My Wallet. Yeah, I'm not trying to push any kind of wallet or pimp any wallet out. What I mean is it's sponsored by my personal wallet and the cash that comes out of it to pay for these things. If you want to help with this, you can hit like, subscribe, that notification bell. Those are great ways to get started. But if you find yourself in a position where you can help the channel more, we have a Patreon and a subscribe star down below that you can click on those links. And for as little as $1 a month, you'll have special videos and things to just you, music that you can get. Or maybe if you wanted to, a one-time donation just to help out, we have a Streamlabs link down below. Or we also have, if you go to the Patreon shop, you could buy a song for like $3. I wish I could put them a little lower, but that's the minimum they allow for that. So there's lots of options. Sometimes you might even see an Amazon link. If you want to buy anything through Amazon, click on my link first, then go through there. That'll give me a couple pennies, possibly that way too as well. So there's lots of ways you can help out the channel, because without you, it would not be possible. So thank you everybody, and let's get back to the video. Now, talk about books I'm struggling to enjoy. I have a completely different take on this, and this is Flash number 18 with a 3.7 rating out of 89 ratings, mostly positive for the Flash. But if I can tell, based on the amount of ratings, I think the readership has dropped on this book, and I gave this book a 6. I'm sorry, I can't get into it. The writer is Simon Spurr, artist is Vasco Girovi. Sorry, I butchered that. I'm not into anything here. I mean, we have more of this story that's convoluted. The artwork I don't care for. I don't care for the Flash costume. The story is just a mess. I'm not a fan of this at all. The art story, it's a boring issue too. It's not a good story. It's completely boring. I'd skip this one. Not for me. Not at all. The next one, we're gonna suit up and get into our iron with Iron Man number 5. A 3.8, mostly positive with 113 rating, which ratings, boy, I gave this book a 5. Once again, not in agreement with them. So anyway, the writer is Spencer Ankrum, and artist is Xavier Pena. And, boy, here we go. The streets are clean and the rent is always rising in Little Lavataria. Can't not speak today. Doom's going to be mad at me. Now that the heat is here, you can be assured that the absolute protection of private property. And if you hear the occasional scream, that's just the price of safety. I think we can get where we're getting at here. If your neighbors disappear, don't ask where they're gone. Ask when renovations will start. And when do do-gooders in suits show up, just stay away from the flames. Guest starring, yeah, I wouldn't say guest starring Ironheart, by the way. It's pretty much starring Ironheart, and that's probably my big thing on this here. This story it's trying to make Ironheart continue to happen. You could tell that, they got that series coming with her. They keep trying to push this character. She's a second-rate Iron Man. She should have never been made the way she was made in the first place. It turned off Iron Man readers. This The garbage dialogue in this book doesn't help. Is this supposed to be an Iron Man book? Because I got done reading this one, I thought this is an Iron Heart book. I mean, everyone's clapping for Iron Heart, not for Tony. The art is mediocre as well. But you know what? Let's get some different views here that oppose my view, since I gave it such a low score of a 5. First one is darn good issue with Inkerman really showing his chops. Out of every issue so far, I think this gives us the best taste of what he can bring to the table for an Iron Man book, specifically compared to many other writers. Really excited at the idea of Tony looking beyond even weapon manufacturing and seeing how other stuff he develops and sells can equally be as a bad of a result. Yeah, and here's talk about another 4 stars. Holy crap, y'all! It's called the Repulsor World. That is so BA. This was a decently fun issue. If anything, I feel a little bit rushed. Could have been 2 issues, one with, and then blah blah blah. So 4-star review. Here we go. We've got a 2-star review. This is closer to me. Good art and nice seeing Lucia von Bardas again. But as a black guy, we get it. Riri is black. Boy, thank you for somebody else sharing that. Would counterbalance it with a really high 4.5-star reviews. The best issue of the run so far. This is phenomenal. I don't really know how to describe it without spoiling. It's one of those where you read yourself and appreciate the issue on its own. Wow. Boy, 5 from me. I thought it was a Riri book in spite of Tony. Didn't care for it. But I'd like to know your view. Maybe I'm on the wrong side on this one. The next one I want to talk about is Ultimate Spider-Man number 14 with 850 ratings, so still probably selling really well with a 4.7 exceptional rating. And I gave the book an 8.2 because I grade harder than they do. Right, there's Jonathan Hickman and artist Marco Checchetto. Spider-Man versus Kraven. Yes, we get that. Kraven's hunting our duo here. And boy, this is good art. Solid dialogue in this book as well. We also get Peter's son, with the Venom suit, trying to be a Spider-Man, beating the Black Cat. Sort of a nice twist on that. Good characterization, good story. And the end of this one, poor Harry. But, here's the thing. Mysterio's in this issue too, and in that area, in the scene here. So I don't want to spoil it, but what happens to Harry maybe really doesn't. There's a way to continue having him around. Maybe. Just maybe, but only time will tell. The next issue is the West Coast Avengers, which, by the way, has some really good alternate covers. So some pretty cool stuff there to check out. Anyway, it is 95 ratings with 3.8, which is mostly positive. And I gave it a 7.6, which is mostly positive. Yeah, so, hey, what can you say? Writers Jerry Duggan, artist Danny Kim. I do like the original cover here with Firestar. Pretty cool. And a troubled Firestar and the newest and least tested member of the West Coast Avengers, Blue Bolt, make an unexpected connection. Yeah, we do. It's an interesting dynamic here. I'm enjoying it. Interesting, messed up team dynamics for this team. Absolutely. Interesting story. And they seem to be heading for a complete disaster. It just really does. But mediocre art. And that's one of the hits I had to give it, mediocre art. But otherwise, I'm enjoying this dysfunction, not knowing what to expect kind of team. And that's sometimes you need a little something like that. And let's see, this is the last one I had time to read so far is G.I. Joe Real American Hero issue number 314 with 21 ratings with a 4.1. And I gave it an 8. I think this is one people are sleeping on. And I get it if you aren't a big fan of G.I. Joe. Or maybe you thought like I did after a while, probably by issue 200 and something, you figured it was a little too much mind control, constantly mind control, and it got a little boring. I think it's found its way back. Larry Hama, the writer of this, found his way back. An artist is Andrew Cranky, which I probably butchered, I think did a good job for this too. We have Roadblock and a team of special operatives, including Shipwreck, Tunnel Rat, and Tripwire. Cool cast of characters. Head on out to rescue a young little girl. But things aren't as they seem, and boy is it not. This is a one-shot story. It takes away from the main series' story so far. But it's a good one. Good art, good characterization here. This is really, I think, if you're not checking it out, you should. And I know the Energon series one is fantastic. It's hard to beat that. I mean, that one is really, really good. But this one's not been a slouch either. I think people are sleeping on this one with only 21 ratings. It's probably not getting the sales it should. I strongly suggest checking this one out too. It was a good read. I really enjoyed it. Well,
thank you everybody for watching. This is all I got read so far. I still plan on probably reading Superman. I think there's a Green Lantern book to read as well. There might be a few other ones I have to continue to look through and see what to get and buy, but that's all I had time for before this review. So thank you for watching. Help support the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, hey, let's be good to each other and have fun discussions here on this stuff, okay? Take care, everybody. Goodbye.